Hello everyone! Welcome to the first segment of the CABAL 2 Feature Spotlights. I'm GM Icee and I'll be going through the combat of CABAL 2, which consists of consecutive or trigger skills, combos and how you can perfectly execute them, and our battle mode feature. These are your basics that you'll learn over time in order to thrive in this land, but I'm here to give you a head start on them. Let's begin. Now, you can see my abilities in the crazy order that I like them, but the tooltips don't mention consecutive attacks. So what are they? Consecutive abilities are your skills that can be chained in a precise sequence to pull off huge bursts of damage. And even firing off one ability, you will see a button pop up. But without understanding what it is, that will be a missed opportunity in some good damage. If you click on your skills tab and hit consecutive, you'll see all of your abilities that can be chained together to form a line of attacks. All classes have them, and it's important to master them as soon as you can. Take a minute to look through your abilities once you get them to see which chains are the longest and which ones you don't have yet. Knowledge is power after all. You'll see some abilities with no chains, but the ones that do have a button that pops off in the center of your screen once the end of the first ability fires off. That is your indicator that the next ability in that sequence is ready to go. You can press that pop-up button to fire it off, or you can repress the keybind on your hotbar to fire off the next ability and keep that chain going. Do you see the difference once you fire off a chain of consecutive attacks? Once you get the proper timing done, firing off these abilities will take no effort at all, and you'll even be able to fire off different chains in the same combination. That's a little harder to accomplish, as the animations and timing of certain chains can vary in length, but with a little practice, you'll see how fun lining up these attacks can get. It gets pretty addicting too. As always, make sure you pick the best type of chain for your current scenario. You won't always be facing a dummy that doesn't fight back. Now that we know the basics of consecutive abilities, let's head off into the battlefield to see it all in play. Now let's see how the Force Blader handles his consecutive attacks. A melee class, Force Bladers also have some range attacks that place him in a unique DPS pedestal, but the basic principle is still the same. His dash, a self-CC ability, chains into another ability that requires even more timing and is unforgiving if you hesitate to press the next sequence. What makes the Force Blader unique is his mixture of both force and sword attacks, so seeing 4 possible chains pop off can be a little overwhelming at first, but it is entirely possible to master. Knowing which chains are best for the situation is your best possible chance at avoiding confusion. Some of these abilities are buffs, some range, some melee, and it's up to you to decide which abilities would go best in your current situation. Using your melee abilities while a larger enemy is attacking you would be the best chance here, as there is no cast time to worry about, making it easier to focus on your damage while some huge bug is just wailing on you. Eventually, you won't even give it a second thought and your enemies will fall. You can use your buff after a battle if you intend to start another one immediately, and especially keep track of that health bar. What makes the Force Blader special is his activated ability that gives you 2 different abilities that can only be fired off in that mode. This consecutive skill is a mixture of melee and range and is the only chain that combines this unique aspect. You can use other abilities and chains while in this mode, but taking advantage of that one special chain is far more important. And now we're here to talk about combos within CABAL 2. Combos, while consecutive attacks are a huge role in them, are not the same as trigger skills, and are merely the act of perfect timing. You definitely need some consecutive abilities to really master combos, but you can technically just fire off your basic ability over and over and still achieve a high combo. But we're not here to learn some cheesy tactics, we want to learn how to master combos in order to devastate our opponents. As you can see, using consecutive attacks is the best way to achieve a combo, and even getting a basic combo will get you a slight edge over your enemies. Now, while using consecutive abilities would be best, you can still use other abilities and chain them, because after all, it's just about that timing. However, getting those different animations and timing down can be tricky, especially if you're new to how the combo system works in Cabal 2. So just using your chains can help you a lot in the early stages of getting that combo timing right. So, seeing that combo chain going up and up should bring up the big damage, right? Yes, absolutely. That combo indicator up top isn't just up there to fluff up your ego. The redder those numbers get, the more damage you're bringing to the table. You saw the small boost I got from a basic 4-chain combo, but getting a combo of 21 will massively increase the damage you put out, and it'll even show on your bar if you've beaten a previous combo chain and how much more damage you've output, giving you more incentive to get an even higher combo the next time around. As with any other game, practice makes perfect, and the more you play around with what consecutive abilities you can chain together to get that comfort zone DPS, the more fluid your combat will be in both PvE and PvP situations. While being on a purely DPS class is the funnest way to get that meter up there, being on a more support or utility-based class can change the way your combo will go. The Force Shielder is primarily a tank-based class known for absorbing damage rather than dishing it out, but that doesn't mean he doesn't do his fair share of gray combos. A Force Shielder has some great damage options, but some of his abilities, no matter how well timed, will interrupt a combo in favor of a more defensive trait. You as a player must decide whether or not keeping up great damage combo is the way to go, or if using a defensive skill is necessary in order to keep yourself or your allies protected. As you can see, using a heal ability that will keep your shielder up will get rid of any combo you were starting to get, but will keep you up longer in a fight if necessary. Self-CC abilities, if used in the middle of a fight rather than the beginning of one, like grabbing a giant bug towards you, will interrupt a damage combo, as well as any self or party buffs that you use throughout a fight. Essentially, it's all about that damage, but remember that surviving a fight is better than attempting to get a record high score on that combo meter and dying in the process, a lesson I unfortunately learned the hard way. However, getting that damage meter is entirely possible in a tank class, even a healer class, so if you're confident in being able to beat up a giant bug without dying, then get that combo meter up and rolling until everything goes boom. And then there's loot for everyone. For melee DPS classes, that combo meter is slightly easier to keep up, as casting times are basically non-existent. But it's still not a cakewalk. You must get used to how your abilities fire off, and which ones will interrupt your combos. My warrior uses her basic chain to start the combo off, but can use her bleed abilities and CC abilities, not self-CC abilities mind you, to boost her damage and keep that combo meter rolling. Melee classes have the advantage of easier combo chains at the cost of some damage, but you'd never notice it as my warrior tears through these giant bugs as if they weren't that giant at all. However, timing is still important, and one tiny mistake can cost you a DPS loss. Hesitating for a second will require you to start over from the beginning, and could make your character vulnerable by delaying the fight by having to use a defensive cooldown instead of nuking the enemy quickly before you take too much damage. That doesn't mean your whole day should be ruined though. Keeping up that damage and starting up a new combo chain will still dispatch your enemies, and make you look awesome in the process. Battle scars in a video game never hurt anyone after all. But battle mode, however... battle mode. With your amazing animations and well-earned status, you have to be level 35 to get it after all. It's no wonder mostly everyone will be keeping you on cooldown. The premise of battle mode is fairly simple. You turn into a near unstoppable force of destructive battle power that will definitely make even the toughest of enemies fear your presence. You can see how you can escape from a brutal AoE attack from your enemies and then finish them off in style. For DPS classes, battle mode comes in a very easy to read unique UI that simply has 6 buttons in this order. A basic consecutive attack, an AoE consecutive attack, a huge nuke for tons of damage, a CC ability, an escape, and a self-heal. Using these in any order is possible, but of course, using them appropriately is key to really take advantage of this awesome feature. And of course, you can pull off combos in battle mode to really take your damage to the next level. But that's for DPS classes. How would a priest effectively use her battle mode? I have my wonderful assistant GM Spectre here to help out with this demonstration and soak up all the damage so I don't have to. Watch as she pulls at enemies so the tank can effectively handle the hurt so I can heal him back up. The priest battle mode is fairly unique in that it only has 2 damage abilities and 4 party support abilities. It has a group heal, a single heal, a cleanse, and a group shield that will keep your party up in any sticky situation, no matter how hard the enemies are hitting your other party members. Her heals are substantial in battle mode. They have a low cooldown and also have no mana cost, so make sure to have her use her heals with no hesitation or second thought. It could save a life, or 5. Don't underestimate her damage, however. She can effectively do lots of damage while keeping her allies up, making her a true force to be reckoned with. Alternating between her damage abilities and her group healing will make her a huge asset in any PvE or PvP situation, with the unfortunate side effect of always being the first targeted, so make sure to keep that one in mind when you're roaming around. Now, the question is, what to do with all of this newfound knowledge? You go out and you conquer. Using a combination of any of these basic combo tactics will make sure your character stands out in the battleground, where you'll conquer dungeons, the open world, our PvP battlefields, and will have you mastering this strange new world with your friends in no time at all. Always keep in mind that you'll never master anything immediately, and that all of these techniques will take some time to get used to, but they will be well worth the effort. This has been GM Icee, and thank you all for watching our very first segment. Stay tuned for our next Cabal 2 feature spotlight, where I'll walk you through the abysmals and how to survive in them. Bye everyone!